Boo! Welcome back to the coziest part of Solana's finest podcast, Sol Brothers, markets, prices, charts, and technical analysis. Eno, you changed today. You look less Asian. I have a different co-host, if you guys can't tell. Welcome to the show. How's it going, man?
It's good, actually. It's also my show because we're streaming to my channel as well. So,
damn, welcome.
I'm also in my
welcome,
bathroom as well. I want to clarify that is where I film my desk's in my bathroom basically, but yeah.
Wonderful. This is a very unique trading setup, not gonna lie. So that's where the magic happened, guys. This is where dreams come true. This is where fucking money.
My next house is ready
soon.
Made. We don't have to be here very much longer. We can,
I love it. Bro, you don't need a crazy setup to be successful in this space. You just need a fucking Wi-Fi, and you're gonna be fine. But yeah. John, welcome to the first section of today's live stream. For everyone who's on YouTube, welcome to the show as well. We have a special guest. We have Jordan Dark Martini guy from Crypto Savings Expert. Been around each other for a long time, and invited him over today. We're going to do two things for people who don't know. We're going to start with a little bit of TA. We're going to take a quick glance at what's happening on the charts. We're going to look at Solana, of course, because that's the main topic of the show here. And then we're going to move on to the second video for today. You can also find it on the Sol Brothers YouTube account, which is going to be latest and greatest on Solana. So I'm going to run by Jordan some of the happenings this week on Solana, and let's see if he thinks and if he agrees that Solana does have a future. But I think he does. But without further ado, we're going to start, Jordan, with a quick glance at my chart. Okay, you ready? Let's look at Solana here, at what we're doing. So right now we are on the 8th of January. US markets are not yet open. They are going to open in a few hours from now, and we are currently in a correction since already quite some time. I'm looking at the weekly chart here right now, and the question when we're zoomed out, but we're going to cover this a little bit more in the other video, is if we're going to go up from here or down, right? That's what everyone is asking themselves. I do think, without going too precise into the long-term chart here, I do think that there's a very fair chance that we're going to see another rejection and a lower low on the Solana chart, honestly. I've been talking about this already a few times. We're right now in a pretty strong resistance zone or support zone for Solana as well. But I don't think that it is, we can rule out higher than 50% probability right now that we're not done with the correction. And why, you ask yourself, potentially, Jordan, is here's my reading, and then you tell me what you think about this. But I think, because what I usually like to do when I look at charts is I just work with two things, which is Elliott waves, Fibs, and then a little bit of volume here and there, but that's pretty much it. So I am right now looking at the correction that we're potentially finished, but I don't think we're done. Down here around $120, $116, and then from there, from the bottom here, we started to make our way up in a Elliott wave 1-2 setup, and now in the third wave, and we already reached a very strong Fib level for this fourth wave correction in the large account, which brings us here in this resistance zone here to the upside. We just reached basically the 0.236 of the fourth wave. If you don't know what fourth wave this is the one that basically started from all the way up here from the highs. We did a third wave to the downside, and then now we're in this fourth wave resistance, right, in the large account. But I do think that we might see a rejection over here, either right now. I think after one more high, potentially, we can turn around and make our way, maybe in end of Jan even already, or maybe in Feb. We can make our way again into a territory of sub 120, potentially, right? Do we know that? We don't know, because we have no idea. This is just predictions and probabilities, no financial advice. But I do think that right now we might do one more high, and then we're going to go down. What do you think, Jordan? What's Solana doing right now? Are you confident with that analysis, or are you saying?
I agree and I disagree. I think
let's go.
We have a really interesting start to this year. So I think that we've got to pay a lot of attention to what is going on geopolitically.
True.
Yep. Venezuela, what a gold mine. Empty out Venezuela. Steal all that nice black gold from the floor. That's going to have a massive impact on everything this year. And I think that for me, everything points towards a bull market in around July. It's like good summertime this year. I don't think we're going to see a lot at the start of the year, just because, thinking about it, you got new Fed chair sometime in May, but that new Fed chair is going to take until July till they're able to actually go to a meeting, make a significant rate cut. You can't do it on day one. He is Trump, so maybe they can. But there's no rules with that guy. He just makes them up as he goes along. And if there is a rule there, it didn't matter to him anyway. But the logic of my thought process towards the market this year is, I think Solana will do $1,000. I really do. I think that it will probably do it this year. And I actually think it'll far surpass $1,000. I think we'll get 5-10K out of it in the long run. We're talking like 3-4 years down the line, but one proper bull market later. What's required for that to happen is another period of time, which is good. Now, Solana did its big growth because of meme coins. Meme coins brought in so many people, more than any other chain, and then every other chain copied it as a concept, launched their own pump funds, and that diluted all of that liquidity across all these chains, which then ultimately killed the trend. So another trend is required in order to have a very significant bull run. But because Solana's changed quite significantly from where it started to where it is now, you can build a lot on top of it. It's more like Ethereum these days than what it used to be. I believe there are smart contracts on Solana now. I'm not 100% sure of that, but I'm pretty sure. Is there? Do you know? I'm pretty sure. Might be, might not be. I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure you can do more stuff than what you used to be able to. But I'm not a tech guy. I'm a gambler. And gamblers not always the easiest people to take information from. But I'm bullish overall. Just worried about the start of this year because there's a lot going on, a lot needs to be solved, and all the catalysts begin from May when all of the rate cutting comes in, the quantitative easing, the money printing, the stealing Venezuela's oil to pay for the increase in supply of currency in the US dollar. Like all of this stuff's got so long that we'll see. It'll take time.
Quick TLDR here for what happened. I'm just gonna use the crypto savings expert because that's the theme of the show today, and the newsletter here. That's actually very helpful to get like a TLDR on what just happened in the past week with fucking Trump doing Trump things. Basically, he just decided obviously to capture Maduro. So he kind of door dashed the man into the US, put him in a jail. Now he's there. And then he started to also talk about Mexico, Colombia, and like all these other places. He also wants to cut off Greenland. Actually, he wants the whole thing. So now that is all on the table. And people are a little bit confused about the future of the political situation, because obviously there's strong opponents as well regarding the policy that he's doing right now, because it is fairly, I don't want to say aristocratic, but he's just doing his thing, right? And kind of moving in a gray area where it's still okay, I guess. It didn't really impact a lot the markets, honestly, like the whole situation. There was some volatility, but essentially we just drove up in the first couple of days in January, right?
Yeah, it's good news. The Venezuela thing for us in crypto is good news, because it means America just stole all the money in the world. And that's good when your currency is backed by all of the money in the world and oil. So like when you're building a Ponzi scheme, it does help to have a lot of oil. And so it's kicked also the can down the road for 20 years, and they'll install their own government. It'll be good news. It's sad, but it's good. Who knows morally if it's the right thing to do. But I can't say I'm not against it.
It's not us to judge that. Like, we're here to talk about markets and prices and salami and tech acceleration. I mean, we also talk about politics in the show actually here and there, which is totally fine. And I'm totally with you. Like, it is ethically, morally, there's a few loops and turns to go through with this Trump guy. You don't need to love everything he does, but there's one thing he's very good at, and that's his agenda. He has an agenda, and he has US in mind, to make US or to keep US at the #1 position, and to remain.
The agenda is clear. The plan is not clear. The agenda is clear, but the plan is just like we wake up every morning and just decide, all right, Venezuela's got a lot of money, we'll have that, and who's next?
I think in his mind it might be very clear. Like, it's just like we're just very surprised of these plans because they seem dramatic. I mean, I think obviously the Venezuela thing was schemed since a while. I mean, you saw that there was some footage where they actually practiced how to get in there. bro, they built the whole compound in the USA with like the house and everything.
That one was something that they've been working towards. And to be fair, there was a lot of speculation that the and I can't remember if you came to this AMA in the CSE Discord, but the the day before they invaded. In that AMA, I was like, America is going to invade. Get on Polymarket. I never did. But some guy put a $30,000 bet on. I'm willing to bet that guy came from our community because I know how much money's sat in our community. And I'm sure that there's some degenerate that's like slammed 30K into it. And you made headlines if it's you.
yeah, you should have
made a lot of money that guy.
Good job on you. Anyway, this was quick glance in the markets, quick glance on the prices, quick chat about Solana. If you want to hear more about Solana, then you need to watch the other video that you find on Sol Brothers channel on YouTube, because now we're going to talk a little bit about the latest happenings on Solana. We're going to end that video here right now. The stream is going to go on. So thank you for watching on YouTube, and see you in the next one. Cut.
I'm also going to stay here on YouTube on my channel. Just
of course. Yeah, we're just going to keep rolling here. We're just gonna keep rolling. I'm gonna dive into the next.
Wants to do a middle bit where he does another introduction during the middle of the video. So do your
what you need to understand, if you're new here because you're coming from Jordan, then obviously we're recording as well. So this is not just a live stream. You are live watching us record videos. Basically, that's what we're doing. So we're jumping in the next one, which is gonna be a bit longer, and we're gonna talk a little bit about some news on Solana. And I think that's going to be also very interesting for you, Jordan, because you seem to need some knowledge on what's happening on Solana, despite price up and down. So 1, 2, 3. Welcome to Sol Brothers with myself, Simon, where it is our job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole, show you around in our exciting ecosystem. And today I am joined by none other than Jordan. Welcome to the show. How's it going, man?
It's going excellent.
Excellent, in your little bathroom over there, in your professional set. I mean, we're both kind of fucked up. Like, I have this, I don't know what that is really. Like, I have a bird back there, by the way. His name's Peter.
Yeah, you can tell. If you do that in Thailand, they lock them in cages and make you pay £1 to release the bird.
What? I mean, he's fine. Peter's good. Like, he likes me. But your setup is definitely legendary, with the little shower head in the background. Anyway, I have some Solana news for you. How much Solana news do you consume per week?
How much Solana do I consume? Yeah. I mean, I buy a lot.
How much? Exactly. You see the price, but what do you actually know about what's happening on the ground? Because I think maybe I have some revelations for you here today.
You will have revelations for me, because I have not paid attention to anything for about a month, because I have just been. We have business revenue, and I use business revenue to buy Solana, Bitcoin, and keep some in USDT. I split it into thirds, like we do a third Solana, third Bitcoin, third USD. So I don't know what's going on, to be honest. I just know that I should be buying because prices are pretty low, but like they can go a little lower, but not probably significantly.
Then let's see if you're going to buy more after today's recording here, because I got some good news for you. What are we starting with? Let's take a look here at the first one. Solana just added $900 million in stablecoin supply in the last 24 hours. This came out on January 8th, which was today at 6 a.m. my time. That was US nighttime on January 7th. So fairly fresh data here. Stablecoins on Solana are actually fucking popping. There's a lot of liquidity. We did, I think, 3 or 4 significant all-time highs of new stablecoin supply in 2025 alone. And then now in the new year, and now in a 24-hour window, this is the biggest injection I think we saw so far on Solana ecosystem. Is $900 million in one day basically added to the blockchain. Where's that money coming from? Either it is USDC being freshly minted, or it is usually bridging that is actually happening from Ethereum or other ecosystems, mainly from Ethereum, that is finding its way over to Solana. And this time, there's some other news that we're going to touch later as well today, which is that Jupiter just launched their own stablecoin together with Athena, which is JUP USD. That is being utilized in their protocol, and that also probably made a big part of that $900 million, if I'm not mistaken, that flew into Solana here. And on the chart, you can obviously see as well that the top stablecoin supply is right now. I mean, this was a big kind of it was an outlier data point here for Solana because of JUPUSD, but definitely we're maxing out the fresh supply on Solana. Why do you think, Jordan, this is happening? Why does Solana gobble up so much stablecoin, and is that good or bad? What do you think about it?
I often wonder. So you've got a transfer there of essentially, we don't know what chain it's coming from because we can't see the transaction, but the one would assume it's coming from Ethereum. The question is, what's that newly minted money on Ethereum? The answer is it's probably something to do with Jupiter doing the thing that Jupiter is doing, and they're probably going to take that stable coin and then make their own stable coin off the back of it. For me, I would look at that and I would say, well, how much value is really being created? It's moving around, and that's good for Solana, but the money can move off of Solana. For me, I just
take we've seen inflows. We've seen mainly inflows. Yeah. Like there's
I look at the number one metric for me. Oh, I think I might have frozen. Am I frozen?
No, you're fine. I think you're about to freeze. Yeah. Yep. Okay, he's frozen. Let me see if that's me or if that's him. No, I think I'm online. Yeah. Okay, let's see if John's gonna come back. Quick cut here for editor. Oh, you can hear him? Oh, really? What? How can you hear him? He's frozen for me. Okay, I might have to rejoin on a different browser. Let me try it. Let me try that real quick. No, I think he was frozen. It was not me. All right, guys, all good. We're gonna have a quick advertisement break here and talk about some random shit before TMG is back. And we got back to the agenda. How's everyone doing? I see some comments. I see Spud definitely tuning in. Oh, also TMG being back here.
Yes, I'm back. I'm back.
Come to Phuket ASAP. I should come to Phuket. Says Spud as well. Well, that's actually a good idea. Anyway,
back to it. You asked me about what my thoughts were on this money coming onto Solana, and I was saying I think the most important metric for Solana is actually the ETF inflows, which I believe have been largely positive, pretty much non-stop. I don't know what it's been since Christmas, but I know that before.
Oh, sorry. Let me get back. Yep.
The ETF flows are like good. And I think that will play into it a lot more because as you see, these are not that like you see their Bitwise, Grayscale, Fidelity, Vanek, and the same goes for anything that they're accumulating. These are not organizations that care about your short-term price fluctuations. These are organizations that are investing customers' money for the long term. And you've got to understand where this money is coming from. This money is coming from probably 0.0001% of your pension fund is being invested by your pension fund manager in this stuff. The thing is, over time, that's an accruing. And so what you've got to understand about ETFs is an ETF doesn't go away. It leads to a consistent acquisition as the ETF grows and the fund managers continue to put more money in, because you've got to understand about a fund manager, they're not talented, they're not smart, they're mostly idiots with massive egos that work in London that get paid far too much money for doing a very simple job. And because all they have to do is take money from one guy and then buy something. Generally, a fund manager is generally just taking someone's funds and buying. They're not actually trading. Day trading is done by banks, but generally a lot of it's done by algorithms anyway. It's not done by people. The fund manager part of it is all just people get paid far too much money for investing other people's money, and they just portion it out. So that won't slow down, and it's kind of like being part of the S&P 500 in a way, in that you should see consistent buying power coming from that market that will never really result in significant selling pressure because it's a very visible sell. And that's what you've got to understand. The person that's buying there is selling with a different account. The person that you're hedging, so it's a hedge anyway in a portfolio, but the thing is, it should make up such a small percentage of our overall portfolio that actually in crypto it means a lot to us. Does that money coming in? But to them it's nothing. It just doesn't even make up a smidge on their database. So for them it's such small money that they'll never probably get rid of it because it would crash the market if they did. So It's like too small at the moment, and the goal of the institution is to grow something beyond the point of worrying about liquidity, and at that point they can sell. And so that's where I see it going. That's why I say like Solana, $1,000, $5,000, it's way more realistic than what everybody thinks, and it doesn't take long. And I have been here, and in so many cycles, people say things can't happen. Everyone said that the Ant shares would never be anything. Ant shares rebranded as Neo and went up 1,100 times in price. You can't tell me that Solana's not going wrong. You would do anyway. You'd completely agree with me. But no one can tell me that Solana won't do 5,000, because it will. It will, because it's the way that money works is it constantly loses its value anyway. So even if it took 1,000 years, Solana will reach $5,000. The dollar would just be worthless, but it'll get there for sure.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't take that long.
Screen, by the way. Oh, there it is. It's just coming up now.
Yeah,
there we go.
So this was also posted a little bit earlier today.
I think so maybe a little bit like Kathy Wood, that if Solana has the success we're talking about and what you're describing happens, that it crowds out Bitcoin even more.
I think that we're already starting to see people diversify away from the Bitcoin trade. Like in the context of the gains that you can get, it's you see that skew to some of these altcoins, but yes, the utility is with these newer blockchains that can actually serve a use case for tokenized equities. And Robinhood, Vlad Tenev, he is a firm believer that that's where we're moving. And that's why this crypto market infrastructure bill, if that actually paves the way for tokenized equities, that's a game changer.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, that's Morgan Stanley, and that is, it's like the next ETF. By the way, it got filed yesterday. That I think the 10th or 9th ETF right now that's going to be on Solana. But for me, it's just funny to see these pictures. Like CNBC have this lady that obviously had no clue about crypto 2 years ago, now sitting there and talking about utility of the Solana blockchain, right? Like, and why? Because someone else that she trusts started to talk about it in a way that she was like, okay, this is real now. And that's a whole chain that's going on since a while now. 2025 was the big institutionalization of mainly Solana. We had like an outbreak year in 2025 with all the ETFs coming, with digital asset treasuries coming, and with all eyeballs from these big institutions coming on Solana and trusting us, right? And I think when you say there needs to be a big meta, a big narrative again, it's already happened since last year, and it is the tokenization meta. But it brings in a new kind of people, right? Because those are not meme coin traders. Like this is Wall Street, right? This is old money. This is traditional finance that are now looking at it, and they're like, hey, this actually, I think we might actually see a shift from old financial infrastructure to tokenization, and it might happen on Solana. That's where we're at right now, in my opinion.
And I agree to some extent that tokenization is good. It's just never been executed well by anybody that's tried it. The same goes for RWAs. Mostly, to be honest, what I've seen of it, money laundering. It seems like a great way to launder money, does an RWA project. But my thing about the way it's been executed so far is it's been terrible. Like, otherwise there'd be successful businesses in this space. So the best is yet to come, because we've managed to get to these crazy valuations with purely rubbish products. Absolute. I mean, there's some good stuff on Solana. There's more good stuff on Solana than Ethereum, which is why I'm buying Solana than Ethereum. But again, that could switch at any point. There could be another new blockchain that pops up out of nowhere. But the thing that I like and always have liked about Solana is they got some of that sweet FTX money from the customers of FTX back in the day. And they've always been a very well-funded, but mainly the key part about Solana, and I think I said this to you the first time, the reason I like it is because San Francisco exists. And in San Francisco, there's a lot of money. And the Solana people are generally over that end of the world. Like, the core big money on Solana is there.
Yeah, it's
Ethereum money's not there. Ethereum money left to go to the tax-free islands a while ago. But the Solana money is still building. The Ethereum money retired. And everyone looks at Ethereum and goes, well, it's the most adopted blockchain. And it is, which makes it the first blockchain that's going to get overtaken by something else. And I think that's Solana. And if you add Solana and Ethereum at the same market cap, it gives a silly number anyway. So I think that it's just a waiting game. We all have this thing. It's just this constant waiting game for one day this will go really well. Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Yep.
But I don't need to cross them because I'm pretty confident. Like, I can show you that we acquire a lot of Solana. Just in a short period of time, we've been buying a lot and show your portfolio with a shitload of it. But
as you should.
Like,
you're not the only one.
Yeah,
there's big money acquiring Solana right now as well, right? Like it was last year. It happened. It started with a digital asset treasury. So we have now, I think, almost 20 public companies similar to MicroStrategy that are buying Solana. But we just touched on this topic as well, and I have 1-2 facts about this whole RWA space. Like tokenization, RWA is kind of the same thing as real world assets, bringing assets that are in the real world on the blockchain, making them more accessible. There's a kind of, it's a case that is completely. It makes just so much sense because these assets move without friction on Solana. They are accessible permissionlessly to a large extent. You can get very interesting APY opportunities on Solana on all kinds of assets. And I have some examples that I can show you today as well. But before going to the more precise examples, Securitize, one company that is tokenizing a lot of shit on the Solana blockchain. They, for example, built the Biddle Fund for BlackRock, which was already going live last year, where they are giving institutional investors and high net worth individuals permissioned access. So after you have to kind of go KYC and so on, but then you can buy kind of fixed income kind of instruments on the blockchain on Solana via Biddle, right? So that was kind of a pilot that they did last year. Now they're saying 400 trillion market. Sounds completely ridiculous, but it is the opportunity when we talk about tokenization, because it basically means we want to bring everything that is not yet tokenized and trades on old financial rails onto the blockchain, and that is a lot of it's basically all money, like all significant, a big portion of significant money. They say if we go to 2 trillion in the next 5 or 10 years, that would be a very good outcome for everybody, because right now we're very far away from any trill, right, when it comes to these numbers. And then 400 trillion is the next step. And that's why companies like, for example, DeFi Dev Corp, which is one, shout out to DFDB, it's one of the asset treasuries on Solana. They have a price target, which sounds completely ridiculous if you hear it the first time, of $10,000 per sol, right? And it is a stretch, but they didn't give a time window. And that's what Jordan basically says as well. It could happen at some point, right? We're not neglecting that at all. Is it going to happen in the next 2 years? I don't think so. The 10K mark, right? But if you bring all global value transfer on this ledger, right, then there's going to be a shitload of traffic that the blockchain can handle, technically, by the way. That's going to be a shitload of traffic. And how does the blockchain make money? How does Ethereum make money? How does Solana make money as a business? It's via transaction fees, right? Like basically the cost of using the chain. So it's MEV, minimum extractable value. It is fees that you pay for transactions. It is tips to Jito to get transactions through. That's the revenue of the chain. And that revenue is going up a lot in times of heavy traffic, for example, during meme coins. And I think that's gonna go parabolic when we see more of these guys tokenizing shit and bringing things on chain and making assets tradable on chain and getting big money as well on the blockchain. And even the Deutsche Bank has this paper. It's the last thing about tokenization here, but probably one of the most. I'm German, right? I know the guys, and one of the most conservative companies I probably know, the Deutsche Bank, is saying tokenized capital markets could become the default infrastructure for issuance and trading by the 2030s. Finally, they got it. After 5 years of talking to them about shit, they just needed MiCA, they needed the Genius Act, they needed the Clarity Act, they needed a little bit of assurances that things are being regulated. But now I think, they kind of got it. And they even paint that picture of bringing basically everything into internet capital markets.
The logic always has been for crypto in general, for these platforms, is build it and they will come. And the problem so far is everyone has built things and then people do come, like the DeFi stuff. That was all up and chugging 4 years ago on Solana during Sam Bankman-Fried. But they built it, everyone came, and then Sam took everyone's money. And then everyone got poor, and then they lost it all. And the problem was everyone had built staking applications. So all of these staking apps that were going to be the next big thing and the place to put your millions of dollars, then all steadily started getting hacked and taken apart. And it's just a maturation process of a market. People get upset, people start suing each other. They waste all this time on all this crap when really they just need to figure out it was a good idea figure out a way to do it without ruining it next time. And I believe the future of all crypto is DeFi, it's savings, it's spending, it's payments. It's not necessarily a fully tokenized economy. Tokens should act as loyalty scheme points that are redeemable for cash. Anybody that's building one that's not a loyalty scheme point type system probably should build a loyalty scheme point type system, because at least then your customers are going to continually use it for what it's intended for. But after these tokens launch, and there's nothing that you can even use it with, which is always going to result in selling pressure because you have no utility, and you've made a utility coin, so the coin price will go down because it's not utility. But I was going to show you anyway. I've been buying Solana, so this is how much Solana that I have bought in the past 3 months. There you go, bosh.
Damn. Whale.
Yeah, and
whale
I just
holder.
keep buying more of it every day. But that's just in the past couple of months. We've been saving for a while, but we
oh, that's great that you can do it, bro. At this price.
Yeah, and I also want to point out that this is a portfolio tracking app, and I do not keep that money myself. Just for clarity, everybody, if you come to me, sure, you can rob my portfolio tracking app. I can give you the public key. But we can set it up for you as well if you want to track my portfolio. But I just think that because there's also a lot of damage out there in the market, and I think there's a really important point to get across at the moment is I am only able to buy because my business is successful in crypto. I would not be able to buy that much money in 3 months if my business were not successful in crypto. It would not be possible. It would not be wise. But the key for everyone to understand is A, you want liquidity when no one's got it, which is now, and B, a lot of people are poor. We're already a year into a bear market. There's probably not a huge amount more down to go. And if you're not starting that process of converting your fiat and assets in, like I'm also selling, I sold all my supercars. They're all gone. I don't actually own a supercar anymore, technically. I own one, but I bought it as a gift, and they're insistent that it belongs to me, but it's not mine. But yeah, convert your assets into crypto between now and July. And this is not financial advice. Read the description of this video from my
very important. Yeah, counts for all of us here, by the way. Have you heard about the MetaDAO concept on Solana? It's a token governance and launch module. It's called MetaDAO because you just touched on a topic that's related to it.
But I love tearing apart token models these days, so it depends if you want to explain me on it or not.
So it is part of the agenda today as well. So I'll give you the TLDR because we could make a whole episode on MetaDAO. But I'll give you the TLDR of how it works. Basically, MetaDAO, you can consider it a launch pad, but they don't really I think we don't want to call it that way. They coined, no pun intended, the term ownership coins. And this is because of the legal structure around the tokens. When you launch with MetaDAO, you're basically essentially spinning up a new legal entity under the MetaDAO corporation on the Cayman Islands. That is basically a DAO entity. And you transfer, as a founding team, you transfer all the rights to everything you basically own as a company to that entity, which is your IP rights, your domains, your tech, if you have tech rights already, and for example, and especially the future treasury that you're raising here. So if you're raising $6 million, that money is going to be governed by the token holders of the token that's being launched, because they will control the entity through a process called Futarchy, which is a market-based voting approach. So basically, the market decides what to do with treasury money. The team gets an allowance. So in the case, we can take a look at the current project, which started 2 days ago. It's going to go for 2 more days. It's Ranger Finance, a perp aggregator on Solana. It's actually a good project. They are so far raised $3.1 million from their 6 million cap. The whole MetaDAO launches that come here, this is I think the 4th big one, they are having the most activity in the last bit, because people just wait. They don't pull out their stables from protocols in the first day. They just invest at the last bit of it. So we can expect this to be heavily oversubscribed. To give you an idea, the last raise they did, Umbra Finance, was 150 million, and then they kept only 3 of that. So people got a lot of their investments back. It's pro rata basically. But the idea is to finish this off. 250K is the monthly allowance. The team does not need to ask the DAO for that money. That money can go out of the treasury every single month for operations to keep things smooth. If you want any additional tokens, if you want any marketing budget for something big, if you want to acquire something, you need to put out a proposal on Futarchy, which is the MetaDAO app. And on Futarchy, the token holders, they will vote. Similar to, it looks like a prediction market. You're basically saying, yes, this is a good decision. The team should get that money. Then you vote for yes. You put money on the table as well. You vote for yes. If you vote no, you can also do that, but then the outcome will determine if you make money or lose money, because you're getting the money of the opposite voters. So if you voted yes, the team should get money for this acquisition because you think it's a good idea, then you will vote yes. And if the yes vote succeeds and wins the whole thing, then you'll basically get the money from the no voters, and everyone who voted yes wins. And that is a market-based decision model where the market basically decides what's right for the company. That's the idea of it. People seem to like it. Right now, it is kind of a narrative on Solana, the whole ownership coins. Hey, TMG, I don't know when I lost you, but this is basically how the whole model works. You heard everything, right? You just didn't.
Yeah. No, my internet crapped out again, but it is what it is.
So that's meta. But you got
that's an interesting concept. It's a game that I don't want to play. I don't want to play
as a founder or as an investor.
As an investor, it seems risky. Seems like you've got a 50% chance of winning. And
if you take part in the votes, right? Like the token is not impacted from the votes. Like the token is the token, but the whole idea is the confidence people get in the token is from not having a team that controls the treasury. The market controls the treasury. And the market is usually everyone that holds tokens. They have an interest in token go up. So they would be stupid to vote anything that makes the token go down.
I've got a question. Is there any tokens that are going up that you know of? Like, is there anything?
I mean,
like,
we can... Sorry.
Going up throughout this whole period of time? What's been going up? I'm very curious to know what's been going up.
I mean, nothing goes up in a straight line, right? But there's tokens that perform fairly okay compared to the rest out there. And we can take a look at the MetaDAO launches, right? I don't want to do too much bull post about it, but I am a fan of the protocol, and I'm personally also potentially getting involved a little bit to an extent with things I do.
What is it?
But
what's Umbra?
So Umbra, it's a friend of mine, actually the front-end designer from Solana ID, launched an app, and that's a privacy coin, private transactions on Solana. It's a Solana-based protocol designed to enable private transactions. So if you want to send money to someone without him being able to, similar to Tornado, but we don't say that here because it has kind of a bad aftertaste. But that was a MetaDAO launch. So same thing, right? It was Umbra Finance here. They launched, they raised 3 million actually, not 6. And they launched back last year. I had them also on Sol Brothers. We have an interview with the founder. The token performed okay, right, in this current market environment.
This is a very impressive chart, to be honest, in this kind of state of the market.
Yeah, and then we even the not bad ones, but the ones that didn't perform as well from MetaDAO, they look okay as well. Like looks okay. Like they're not shit, but
it depends where you bought. Like as a holder, that looks like a stressful time.
Yes, it is definitely. But I'm also a bit more personally. I have some thoughts on Avicii. Avicii is a card. It's a payment card similar to Cast with.
Oh God! Crapped out again.
Hello. Am I back?
There we go. I'm back.
Oh, me too. I think we both rugged.
Yeah.
Did we? Yeah, that's weird. Rarely happens. Bearish on the Wi-Fi right now.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's StreamYard just keeps dying on my computer. Everything else works fine, and then this just doesn't
okay.
work.
Anyway, I was finishing off here with the last one. Solomon, it's also a token, also okay, but not, also got battled down from the from the market a little bit, but they're all MetaDAO launches, and it always depends on the project as well. But I think it is a good idea. And I personally, as a token founder, like we launched Solid last year in December with Swissborg, and I would do it different now. And I'm considering to make some changes to the way the token is structured, because you're totally right with what you're saying, Jordan. What should a token do really, right? The utility is kind of like there's no utility for a token, like nothing really that you need it for. If it's a meme coin, cool, then just keep it a meme, right? Chippy to the moon, like there's nothing it needs to do. It's a brand, it has some fun, little things and gimmicks around it. But if you want to build a company that's doing revenue, which basically I'm doing as a founder and Umbra is doing, and all these Rangers doing, we want to make money, we want to make revenue, and we want our shareholders to eat, right? And if you're a Solid token holder, then you should be a shareholder. And right now you're not, because there's no legal right, there's no attachment between the business, which is going well, and the token, which is going not so well. So I think for this year, my big thesis is that a lot of projects, and I want to be one of the first one, will consider doing something else with their token, and getting the rights for token holders figured out. And I think MetaDAO is a good approach. That's a TLDR to get that. So something to watch.
Yeah, I just think the ones that I've seen work over long periods that aren't blockchains themselves are all finance loyalty schemes. So anything that's a loyalty scheme, and then the token grows with the business, and and you should use your token growth as a metric of the success of that business. And if the token is going down, that business revenue is falling. But there's a lot of businesses that do this. Like if you look at my investment history, it's predominantly what I've invested the most money in outside of your platform blockchains is finance Ponzi schemes, like finance loyalty schemes, finance Ponzi schemes. Call them what you want. They are that. They're exactly that. But there's no reason you can't benefit from a nice little Ponzi every now and again. There's a lot of upside in Ponzi's as well as downside. But ultimately, that's what most of these founders make top-heavy Ponzi schemes. When you look across the majority of the crypto space, you have weighting of assets significantly in teams' favor that teams use to then sell and assets in order to fund development. But when a team sells an asset to fund development and then tells the users of that community to buy that asset, that is just a Ponzi scheme. But look, you've got to do what you got to do to survive. It's dog eat dog. No one says congratulations. No one says sorry. So you've got to do what you think is right. And I'm not somebody that is anti-Ponzi. I am somebody that is pro-Ponzi. I'm just pro getting early Ponzi.
We're going to clip
Ponzi.
that.
Yeah. Literally. Do it. Because people misunderstand Ponzi schemes. You only get upset at a Ponzi scheme if you're not very good at Ponzi schemes. Like I've made loads of money on Ponzi schemes. Ponzi schemes are great. I mean, it's easy.
Meme coins are Ponzi, no?
Yeah, exactly. Meme coins are 100% pure. The pure Ponzi scheme. But there's nothing wrong with that. They're legal Ponzi schemes. And people need to get on board
for now.
The future of crypto is Ponzi. And I'm joking. But
be careful with that. The future of crypto is Ponzi schemes. That's a spicy
no, it's the past. It's the past of Ponzi scheme. But if you find any good ones, let me know. I'm interested.
DMs are open, ladies and gents. Business inquiries, and direct them to Jordan then. But I have two more interesting things on Solana that is not Ponzi's, that is not meme coins, that might be interesting as well for you to hear. One is, I don't know if you're aware of this yet, but we do have stocks on Solana. Do you know that?
Yes.
So
yeah.
Our stocks is Remora, and then we have X stocks from as well, like widely available. And our stocks from Remora, they have Tesla tokenized, they have Nvidia tokenized, they have SPY tokenized. And you can do a lot of fun things with these, because if they're on chain, you can use them in DeFi, right? So you can not just trade them. For example, on Flash Trade, we can trade on leverage, Tesla, Nvidia, and with a wallet, with a software wallet. You log in, you use your USDC, and you trade stocks 24/7, basically, on Flash Trade. And you don't need to sign up to anything, KYC, nothing, right? So you can just trade whatever you want on leverage. And on Loopscale, you can now, this is from this week, also deposit your Tesla stocks, and you can use them as collateral for either loop them. So basically take a loan against your Nvidia stock and buy more Nvidia stock to make a multiply position, a loop. So that would be a leverage long position on the stock. Obviously, if you select too high of a looping, there's a liquidation level, right? So you need to be careful to keep your loan to value.
I just want to add the caveat to all of this. I have used many DeFi applications, some well, some not so well. But in the past 12 months, to DeFi hacks, I lost, I think, over 2 million to various different DeFi hacks. And with a DeFi hack, you don't get your money back.
You do not.
Even the people that tell you they'll give you your money back, they don't give you it back.
There's no legal claim to it. And there's no support hotline even for most of these apps.
So just that, and I think that's the biggest downside of DeFi. It makes it so difficult to allocate significant sums of money into these. But the idea is amazing. The idea is so good. You loan out your assets, you become the bank. The bank, there's not a problem with the idea. There is always a problem with execution. And you can still never trust any DeFi project, because at the end of the day, they'll all get hacked. All of them. At some point. To what degree, who knows? But they are...
Well, I do strongly disagree with that, though. I mean, I hear you. I get your point, because especially of personal experience. But we do have a shitload of money in Camino. We have a lot of money in Loop Scale, and not we in terms of me, but the industry. And I'm talking. Yeah, I mean, we can take a look at Camino here on the markets we have. It's an institutional DeFi platform that's being used by a lot of banks and institutions by now. And you have a few stable coins, and we have. We can look at the supplies here, but it's like a couple 100 million Solana, a couple 100 million. Obviously, it's not compared to traditional financial markets, but if you sum them all up, there's a significant amount of total value locked in Camino. And Camino has, I think, 18 audits or something. I think they say it somewhere,
and I can believe that. It's just like Swissborg had 18 audits or whatever, and they still got done. And the problem was not even with them; it was with the platform that they were using, and they'd had a bunch of things. DeFi. And I clicked on the safest fucking vault, and they still lost my money.
The question is, why did they? I criticized that as well, actually. Like, why did Swissborg work with this entity that no one ever heard of on Solana? Like, they were a very unknown project, and like we didn't really. I was like, why don't they work with like Camino or Loop Scale, one of the big ones that are audited, that are widely talked about, where the founders are doxxed, where like there's a lot of cloud around this app.
It just wound me up. That whole situation wound me up very significantly, and especially with what Swissborg came to me saying afterwards. I was disillusioned with it all. So I don't know where I stand on all that at the moment, but we should probably not talk about it, to be honest. But there's a lot of money involved in that whole situation. And it's annoying, because I think of it as like I was just picking up pennies in front of freight trains, and that's never a good idea. The amount of money lost was not worth the amount of interest that it made. Not even close. You know, the most frustrating thing as well is I staked that money 2 weeks before the hack. It wasn't even that long. And not only that, the day before the hack, I staked an additional 100K.
No.
I was like, no. And I was like, I'm doing the sensible thing. I'll put it in the low risk vault. I won't put it in the medium one. I'll do the lower risk, less yield vault. I'll be sensible. Yeah, that paid out, didn't it?
I understand your view on things if you lost that kind of money in things like this. So I get it, and we do have a lot of work to do still in the industry, but I am not like partially based on data and partially based on gut feelings and partially based on people in the space, very bullish on Solana DeFi and some of the apps that we have that are battle tested. And I think we're almost over the hill when it comes to testing these apps and making them sustain hacks. Like if Camino gets hacked, I would fully market this shit. Like I would definitely put money on the line and say they will not get hacked this year for significant amounts of money. No way. But that is, I'm not even in love with anyone there in the team or something, right? It's just like a very neutral position.
It sounds like you're putting out a bounty on these people. If somebody's like accept Simon's challenge, he'll give you 100K if you can hack it. So crack on.
Yeah, I mean, if I could throw on that money, sure. Last but not least, one more news from the Solana ecosystem here. Shout out to Usman from Oro, because Oro Gold app is bringing gold on chain. Also really cool. So they have tokenized gold, and it's actually really Dubai-based gold reserves that they have physically over there in vaults. And on Oro, you can basically buy a tokenized version of it. If you really want to have a claim on the physical gold, you need to do KYC on Oro. But then you basically have a tokenized version of physical gold, and you can, seamlessly buy it in a few clicks. Sell it in a few clicks.
That kind of thing is good. I always like that. But they've been tokenizing gold in crypto since I got involved in it. People have been making these little gold Ponzi schemes. They're a pretty good idea.
I think they haven't cracked the case how Oro is doing it. That's why they made a lot of waves on Solana, because they actually have these physical vaults in Dubai with like some legal structures around it and shit. So it's really cool that you can actually own not a derivative, but an actual gold nugget.
Well, the other thing about gold is if you're considering buying gold, the cheapest place to buy gold on earth is Thailand. Thai gold is cheaper than any other gold by about 3 or 4%. It's not even lower quality. It's just cheaper. The Thai spot market trades between 3 and 4%. Ask your AI. Thai gold, the cheapest gold. It's got a slightly different color to it, and I think that's why.
We should tokenize Thai gold then.
Yeah, literally, you can make money. You can make 3 or 4% the difference by having your treasury of gold in Thailand, because you can buy it cheaper than spot. So, like, there's money.
We should ask Usman about that if he ever looked at that, because right now you only have to Dubai gold. I don't even know where the gold is coming from. Honestly, it's just stored there.
They make more money if they bought Thai gold, because you could charge the same amount of money and just make the difference on the spread.
Usman, if you're listening, write that down. Cool. Alrighty. I am almost done with the news for the section today, for today's live stream. I have 2 more shout outs that I want to give. One is to SNS, one of our partners here, Solana Name Service. Just a shout out to a new feature they introduced to their domains. By the way, SNS.sol. I actually wear the shirt today. Very easygoing if you want to abstract away your pub key. You might know it from Ethereum, ENS. We have it on Solana. It's SNS. They just launched a nifty feature this week to simplify the way you can find domains and buy them either new or from the secondary market on SNS. And then Flash Trade also has a new little feature. Nothing huge, obviously, in their app right now, but I think it's really cool. You can create a little home screen bookmark for the Flash Trade app, and it's a DEX, right? It's not a centralized exchange, and it saves your login credentials. You can log in with Google. It abstracts away your wallet. You click on the home screen, and you're directly in your trading. You don't need to open a wallet. You don't need to open anything. You're directly in your wallet. You can fund the wallet that you have there with the credit card, or you can send Solana from anywhere, from an exchange to it, and you can trade leverage up to 500x. You're welcome on Flash Trade if you want to, but you can also leave the degen mode off and just go 100x max, or be sensible and don't use leverage. But those are some shout outs to some DEXs. You don't trade a lot on DEXs, do you?
I don't like DEXs. I think that DEXs are a generally bad idea because I think that DeFi is a generally bad idea, not because it's not good, but because execution has been very poor throughout crypto history. And even DEXs, the point of failure for the DEX is at the point where you submit that transaction, and they're getting Bybit, like they did Bybit for $1 billion just because they install some malware on your computer, and at the point where you're approving that transaction, it changes the wallet address or something like that. And I just, dealing with the wallets that I deal with, I don't like to touch anything that says connect your wallet. It feels bad. So I'm scared off it. I've been robbed for millions, like millions and millions have been taken from you. At that point, you develop PTSD about this shit. Yeah. I won't touch DEX because I don't trust them, and I like Bybit. I also like Weeks. In my video description, check out Weeks and Bybit. I like my centralized exchanges. I like my Chinese men that run the Chinese centralized exchanges. I get along very well with them, and I trust them because these people are like that. I've known them for years, and the Chinese centralized exchange mafia are really good at building exchanges that are really nice. And so I just feel like I'm somebody that comes from a different time in crypto, whereby I believe in self-sovereignty. I believe that all of that stuff should be done with Bitcoin, and I believe in that you can free yourself with Bitcoin. I then believe that when we're going into things like Solana, you're probably going to be definitely a lot more pro build, create, do, use all of this other stuff. Whereas I'm pro save and cash out on people when they start cashing in. My view on the market is very, I'm here for personal sovereignty with my finances. Oh, look, it did a thumbs up. I'm here for personal sovereignty with my finances. I'm also here to make money. But I'm not here to pick up pennies in front of freight trains. And then the last year I got hit by several freight trains, and I am tired of freight trains. So I just don't connect my wallet to anything, and I don't send anybody any money. Because if you watched the video that I posted yesterday, it was traumatic. 2025 was traumatic for me. So it's not even because just to point out, not to discredit whatever that exchange was. It's just personal preference. Right. It's not to talk. I don't know anything about that platform. I can tell you that generally a platform offering 500x leverage is more of a casino than an exchange, but often casinos make the best exchanges. Look at the ones that I use. Both of them are very kind of like, they make your eyes pop when you go on them. They do it for a reason. It's designed to be like that, but that's why I use them, because I like the way they look. So the casino style exchanges I prefer. It doesn't matter what platform you trade on. At the end of the day, if you're going to be smart about it, you connect it to TradingView, and then you trade on TradingView anyway. But I don't do that unless I'm trading with Stonksy. Aside from that, I would also say that, and I know that it's frowned upon also to have leverage. I want to point out Weeks in my video description also has that crazy kind of leverage. But the crazy kind of leverage is not bad. People just don't understand. If I, for example, and I've done this, and this is why I know that you can do this too if you've got a lot of money. So say that you've got a portfolio of $100,000 and you want $200,000 tomorrow. We can achieve that. We can achieve that very, very easily. And it's something that I've done. I just look for the illiquid market. So I look for a market whereby, say I buy $40,000 of that coin through the order book on that exchange, it will push the price up 10%, which means that by the time that price is retraced, it probably comes down to about 5%. So if I can move a price with 40 or 50K on an exchange, I know that the futures pair is going to follow that. So what I do is I use all of that initial capital to buy, and then I place an insanely leveraged position to match that. But before I've injected the capital, basically pumping the market myself and then dumping on myself. The spot stuff doesn't matter because it's only moving around a few percent. But on the leveraged trade, you make hundreds of thousands of dollars because you put down a very small amount and you leverage the crap out of it. And I have done this many times to make a lot of money over the course of the past few years. The opportunities don't come around all the time, and to do ideas like this, you do actually need, these days, a lot more money than what you used to. We used to do it on live streams back in like 2020, 2019, 2020.
Money glitch.
And we'd come on a live stream, and like if you live streamed Bitcoin at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, and you got like 300 people and you all went by at the same time, it caused Bitcoin to pump back then. It was fun.
That's insane. Let's do that. Tomorrow, same time, guys. We're going to assemble here, and we're going to send Bitcoin to the moon.
No, but honestly, the other thing that you can do well is like, so I don't know why no one's done this as a meme coin yet. Somebody should do this as a meme coin. I don't know why no one's done it, but you get on a stream, you're already famous. That's probably why no one's done it. But if you get on a stream and you're already famous, and you make a coin, immediately that coin is going to be $1 to $3 million. But if you, the idea has just left my brain now. There's a way of ethically doing this. That was it. You get everyone to buy all at the same time, and you time it, or you collate those funds and then drop it in, or you work out some kind of smart contract where everybody sends the money to the smart contract. The smart contract buys and then distributes. It would be a very interesting way of doing it.
But then, how do you? At some point, you have to pull out again, right? And as soon as people start buying, selling, there's going to be people that lose money.
Well, that's the game. It's a Ponzi scheme. Like, some win, some lose.
Yeah.
Don't complain. Don't play if you don't want to lose. Like, fuck off, you fucking pansy beat. Shut up. Don't say these words.
Yeah, we're gonna beep these words here. Actually, I don't give a shit. We don't beep things on this show, at least.
But
maybe for the algo.
Yeah, I mean, the algorithm doesn't generally care after 10 minutes. Just like, you can, as long as you don't swear in the first 10 minutes or something, you're fine.
This guy knows.
Yeah, like he does cause your views to drop off if you swear within the first 10 minutes. But yeah, I think that there is many interesting things happening in this space at the moment, but only one or two of them is going to make a lot of money, and the rest of it's going to be crap. It's everyone's job as an individual to identify what's going to be good. For me, as you can tell from my eyes, I've been staring at screens all day again, because it's time to figure that out. Like you need. I'd say that in a market like this, you need autism, and just autism is really, really helpful in these kinds of markets. It allows you to, or a genuine interest. That's also pretty good. But like a lot of people, I've seen it in my comment section throughout this video. Like I keep seeing some of the comments. I'm not replying to anything because like I'm doing this, but I've seen some of the comments being like, "Oh, there's only so many viewers watching right now," or whatever. And it's like, well, sure there is, but the ones that are watching right now are going to be the ones that's rich in 12 months, and they're going to go and tell their friends to go and buy in 12 months, like we always do. And then the people that buy then don't end up getting rich. They might make some money for a while and then lose it again on the way back down. The people that make money in these markets are the people that stick around and figure out all this stuff on their own when there's only 40 people watching a stream or whatever. I don't know how many people there is watching now because I turned.
We actually have 1,200 through all our combined channels. Okay. So there's people.
Is that including mine?
Yeah, you're on your X. You have a lot of views.
Okay.
So
46 on YouTube watching live, which is not huge for me. It's pretty shit to be honest. But it is what it is. Yeah. I appreciate all 46 of you for turning up.
Exactly. Let's appreciate the people that are here instead of punishing the ones that are not here because
the ones that are not here are just not going to get rich, are they? But even if we said absolutely nothing useful in this thing, at some point, and it's always the case, at some point, one of the things that I say will be so incredibly correct, and it will happen again, and we'll make 1,000x in a year, and when that comes, you're going to regret like not sticking around. You've got to stick around for it. Like if you're not going to stick out the bad time, then you don't get to enjoy as much of the good time. And we are in a bad time. This is right now a very, very bad time for crypto, but that's good because it means you can buy, and the odds are, like me, you probably messed it up all last year. So that means that you've got this year to rectify that. So rather than gambling it all away, save money. Just save money in crypto. So simple. Just every day, the money that you make, you put it into crypto. Put a portion of it, and that's all that I do. I just put a portion of it, like that money that I've been buying Solana with. That's a third of the income that we made in the past, however long, not long at all. And we just steadily buy. It's a little bit. I mean, a little bit for me might be different for others, but it's just you ask if you asked a financial advisor right now, should you buy crypto? They'd say no, absolutely not. And that means you should buy crypto because financial advisors have never been right about crypto. They've always been consistently wrong. So, yeah, that's
100%.
I will talk forever if you don't shut me up.
That is a good moment to shut Jordan up and to at least make the cut for the video today. So thanks for watching this clip. If you're on YouTube, then thanks for that. Definitely check out that Martini guy on YouTube as well if you are not yet a follower of him, even though most of the people watching right now are probably from your audience. But yeah, check him out on Instagram as well and on Twitter as well because you're pretty much everywhere. And you're fairly active, and you guys are also having an amazing community with crypto savings experts. So big shout out to Spud, who's keeping the shit together at CSE and managing the whole thing really well. There's a private Discord where you can actually find very interesting trading signals from Jordan himself that he's putting out there. And I think there's going to be some stuff happening in the next weeks that you can be excited about. Right, Jordan?
Oh, we're about to make a lot of money. I can tell you that. I mean, as a community, I don't mean me personally. It's not like I'm milking everybody. I'm not doing any of that. But this year is going to be an amazing year. I know that because I already have autism.
Here we go. Here we go. So, lads, thank you so much for joining in, and we'll see you at the next one. Peace out.
Ciao.
So, we're still live, but we cannot so close down the stream. We just needed a clean break for the recordings. So yeah, thanks everyone here in the stream as well. There's lots of comments. Some people obviously Spud says and CSE. So people say we should give CSE a shout out. We did that, guys.
Yes, use Crypto Saving Expert. If you're watching, you'll find a link for it in my video description as well. I'm going to be live on a Chippy Spaces this evening, and I will be making some announcements.
On Twitter?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, on Twitter in
Like
an
an
hour. And in
Yeah.
half an hour, we're doing an AMA in the Crypto Saving Expert Discord. So if you join quickly, then
okay.
you'll get in for that.
I'll be there.
And yeah, we're just going to crack on with it. It's pretty late here. I'm going to be on working till 9 o'clock tonight. And I was working at 7 o'clock this morning. Like, people go, oh, I'm going to take some time off. It's bear market. No, this is when you work harder than ever. This is when you put the time in. And then in the bull market, you stop making videos and you fuck off and dump on everybody. I'm joking a little bit, but only a little bit.
Well, you got to sell at some point. Dump is maybe a harsh word. What he means is take profits.
No,
like,
it's true, though. You dump on people that buy
that
the
missed
top.
it, yeah.
You just slap it on them and give them the bag. It's their problem now. Like, it's currently our problem. We're going to have to sit this out for a while. And then people, oh, you're dumping. Yes, I am. I like money. I'm sorry. What are you going to do about it? I wish I'd dumped more in the past.
Same. I was diamond holding too long.
Diamond holding so many bags to zero. It's like, it's just horrible.
Yep. Yeah, sometimes it makes sense to cash out a little bit.
Dump on everybody. Everybody just dump all the time. Just dump. As soon as you get tokens, dump them. Don't hold them. Dump them. Simon's like, stop saying this.
Wait a second. I do have, here's I'm a founder as well. So, but yeah, we had a tough year in 25. People dumped. Let me put it that way. But the dumping is over, and I think we have some good ideas going forward.
Yeah.
Anyway,
well, you're double the size of Chippy at the moment, but you'll be 100 times the size of whatever you are now at some point, hopefully in the future, if you improve that token model.
Yep. We have to improve it. Like I said, there's really, I think the MetaDAO concept makes a lot of sense, and I'm actually in talks with them, but I'm not telling anyone yet. It's there's no precise details yet that are configured, but at least we have some ideas what to do. And like I said, tokens need to change broadly. There's going to be a lot of them. They won't make a change. They will just fucking die because there's a lot of, even Jupiter and all these guys, they make a shitload of money. The businesses are so profitable, and yet the token holders are all underwater. They're 70% down, even though they did $70 million buybacks. It doesn't work really well. And we had to go through this phase last year, a lot of pain, and a lot of projects had to just learn it and be like, fuck, it doesn't work. But now we need to learn from that and flip a switch, right? And figure out how it can work, because I do believe that tokens make sense if you apply them correctly to your business.
Loyalty schemes. Loyalty schemes.
It's a good point, yeah.
It's how you do it. You do a loyalty scheme. You force them to lock up X amount of tokens for the minimum period of 1 year, and for that 1 year, then they get membership to whatever it is that you're offering. It's got to be a compelling offer. It's generally the best in the form of a fee discount, which means you need a fee model. But that's always, look at the big ones that came out of my channel over the years. They're all loyalty schemes.
Yep. I actually agree with that. That's a good idea. But I also believe that we need more of the ownership meta that MetaDAO is trying to achieve. Also, Seedplex is another great project on Solana that's trying to. We're basically trying to get more legal rights to token ownership that actually ties back to the company that makes the money. Because if the company makes a lot of money, your value should go up. If you have equity in a company that makes a lot of money, usually your shares appreciate in value, right? In tokens, they don't.
I'm gonna say something you don't like here, which is that I don't like governance tokens. I think that they're all scams.
It's true. They haven't worked, but this is different because, first of all, futurity is different. The whole model works different. You should if people out there have no idea what it's about, just.
But the biggest problem. The biggest problem with the governance token is nobody gives a shit after they've got it. No one cares about voting. The only people that care about voting are the people with a lot of money in the system. And they generally, in governance tokens, with the current design of them, for the most part, have all of the voting power anyway. So what does my little fish tokens mean? They don't count for shit. So governance models don't work, because what it needs to be is every token holder has one vote, not each token is one vote. And I've always said this. I've been having this problem with blockchain since Nulls back in 2017, when I was telling them, guys, you need to make this a democratic system. Look at Nulls now. Nulls used to be one of the biggest projects. Nulls has now disappeared. It's gone bankrupt and gone. It's got delisted off Binance and everything. So they didn't listen. To make a successful governance token, I don't know how to do that because I've never seen one done well. But I know that a loyalty scheme works. I know that loyalty schemes are maintainable, they're growable, and it's a metric that is viewable by the people that use the app. And it's just always worked. And also, when you announce a loyalty scheme, it causes a sudden increase in demand, and generally that causes boom if there's no liquidity. And that's, you could 100x that on the announcement of a loyalty scheme, I'm sure. But I'm not speculating on Simon's token, but I'm just saying, like, that's generally it's what we're doing with Chippy. Chippy's a loyalty scheme token, and it's not. It's not even.
What's the loyalty baked in that you guys did now? I haven't followed the past weeks.
So if you hold, I think it's more than $500 of Chippy coins, then you get £20 worth of Chippy coins every week for only if you buy and post on Twitter a picture of your fish and chips with a receipt proving that you bought it on Friday. And so the holders of Chippy, we've now distributed over like 20,000 mails. It's actually pretty mad, the impact that it's had. And I would say it's been a very successful thing. Chippy's going into V2 now, whereby we're further developing the loyalty scheme aspect of it, whereby if you hold X amount of tokens, then you get X amount of interest on those tokens. If you Free Chippy Friday will always be a thing, holders get paid out. You might go, well, that doesn't sound sustainable. It's not sustainable, but it's popular. And the thing is, the more popular that it gets, the higher the token price goes, the less tokens I have to distribute every week. But the thing is, I own most of the tokens anyway, and we can keep this going for at least 5 more years. So in that sense, the value of Chippy truly will decline in about 4 years. That's when, if we stayed at these levels, that's when we would run out of coins. But we won't stay at these levels, because the thing is, if it's successful, then it increases our runway to being many, many hundreds of years. Because the token price, if it went from 1 million to 20 million, that would increase our runway by 20 times. And currently, if we have got 5 years of runway, well, if we went to 20 million, we'd have 100 years of runway. And so, bearing in mind, this is a project that, and this is why I don't necessarily agree with the founder, and there'll be many people from your side of this watching that are founder-minded people, but they don't understand that it's not about raising money. We never raised a penny for Chippy. We built a good community. And for the app-wise, to develop the app for Chippy in total has cost about $35,000. But the thing is, on the initial run-up, because there was such a good run-up at the start, we managed to raise a little bit of money off the market. And by raising that money off the market, we've been able to keep it alive, fund development, do everything, and still have a treasury with over $500,000 in it. So it's, in that sense, it's not necessarily... the goal with every token is a marketing exercise. It's how many people can you get to understand and believe. The problem is that most people don't want to understand, and they want to believe, but they don't understand because they don't have the intelligence and they've not been around long enough. So if you've got a very simple concept, it will find it a lot easier to gain users in a market whereby intelligence is generally very low, because most people came here to gamble on things called poo and fart. So it's like you've got to target who's here, and who is here is general. I'm not saying the people watching my channel, but I'm saying like generally across the market, there's a lot of fresh meat here, and it's fresh meat that's poor. It doesn't have a lot of money, doesn't poor fresh meat. It used to be rich fresh meat. It used to be fresh, but he got minced. Did the mince meat. So you've got to consider who's your target market, who you're targeting to. Now, for me with Chippy, I was targeting to my community, but also to outside of my community, and we grew it by working with some influencers. But again, influencers are expensive to work with, and they don't always convert. So the established models that have been made, and this is why no altcoin project over the past 2 years has worked out, because founders don't listen to people like me. They think that they know it because they raise a shitload of money and think they're intelligent, but like money and intelligence are not correlated. So like, you should tell from watching my channel over the years, you should know that. Like, I'm not very intelligent, but I got a lot of money. I'm joking. I'm good at specific things, very specific things. Outside of that,
so what do you tell these these stubborn founders? What do you want to say them? What do you want to say
What
to
I
them?
want to say is you were all focused on tugging each other off, saying how great your businesses are, but none of you make any fucking money. All of you raise money. All of you got bags of cash, but it's bags of people like me's cash. And you don't listen to people like me, but we're the people that made the money. We're the people that made the business. We're the people that have got regular cash flow. You guys have got nothing. Not you specifically, Simon, but in general. You guys have got nothing. You guys don't listen. You think you're more intelligent just because you went to university, you studied something, you made a startup. I didn't go to university. I didn't study anything apart from the internet for 13 years. And I have more money than you because I'm better at it than you. So listen to me in a sense of the ego that goes along with founders, honestly, you should never get me started on this topic, Christ. Ego and founders, I hate them. They are the worst. The guy that founded Beoble, what a fucking
I don't even know what that is.
Like some shit app on Ethereum. The guy had an ego the size of the Titanic, and he went down the same as well.
Damn.
But the problem is these guys dumped and unloaded loads of money on innocent people that were buying into a concept. But the problem is now the founders from this period of time have got a lot of money. So I won't buy a single altcoin that I don't know the founder of before this next bull run. Like, I'm not doing that. Any new project, don't buy it. It's a scam. And that's my narrative this year. I'm going out there with that on this channel. If it's new, I'm not interested. I'm sorry. You've got to prove yourself. I want 2 years worth of financial keeping records and everything like that. It's far too new. But the ego that goes along with the founder makes the founder unable to take advice from somebody like me just because I don't have a qualification. And just because you raised shitloads of money, like these guys during the last bull run, they're raising 20-30 million, and they've got massive egos because of it. And then you go buy Ferrari. Oh, I'm this, I'm that. You're not.
It's a recipe for failure. Yeah, like if you, as soon as you become like this, and as soon as you think that other opinions don't count anymore and you're always right, it's a recipe for you. That's a rule of life anyway. It doesn't matter if you're a founder or whatever the fuck you're doing. Like you should. I'm all for having strong opinions. I have very strong opinions on shit, but they are not eternal. Like you can change my mind. I'm happy to. I mean, I want that as well. I always try to talk to people that have other views because I want to challenge mine. But a lot of times they don't manage to make a switch. Like I stick with my opinion. But if they do, then okay. And tokens are a good example. Like I thought I figured it out end of last year already, and I listened to a lot of people that gave me good advice on tokens. But now I say that advice is actually not that good anymore. So, and that is one of the reasons why I want to tweak some things, because I think it's okay to change your views on stuff, but you need to get into a good argument and get some valid points.
You want to make Solana ID 100 million market cap. You make a payment gateway with a debit card, which costs probably 25 grand to get that to happen, to get some cards printed and everything. And then once you've got your payment gateway set up through a white label debit card supplier, you can then do the thing that I said, which is a loyalty scheme. And then as soon as you announce a loyalty, it'll go bam. Like the thing is,
I have some ideas around this as well, but there's already too many existing cards, I think. But Solana as a product can actually be a good distribution method for these cards. Like we can, you can implement your cast card and so on in a Solana ID in your profile, and you can get some benefits from us if you.
I agree,
that card.
And it's a good concept. But to get somebody to use Solana ID, it's probably costing you more than $10 a person, because and you need your cost per acquisition below $10 a person, which is why every bonus that you ever see on the internet is like get $10 for free. Like that's because they didn't have to pay for the advert to get you there. That's why they give you it for free, because the average CPA is $10. But in crypto, it's actually significantly higher than $10. When you speak to the exchanges and stuff like that, exchanges on average are paying about $100, $150 to get a customer. They're paying a lot of money. And the problem that you've got is, say that your average CPA was the lowest it could be, $10. Say that it could be $10. Can you make $10 back off an affiliate for working with these things? And I believe the answer to that be no. On average, no. You probably wouldn't cover costs in this way. You need to be the portal. I have tried a business already in Crypto Saving Expert. Part of our initial business plan was to do exactly what you're describing. We tried it 3 years ago during the very peak of the market, and it still flopped. So like, people don't give a fuck. There's a whole page on Crypto Saving Expert dedicated to like discounts and deals and get this, get that. no one ever clicks on it. It's like the least clicked on page on the website. But you go on that web page, you get loads of money, and the thing is, it benefits the business. But people don't care. No one's interested to save money. The people that are here have changed shape. They used to all be freedom people. Now they're all gamblers, and you have to appeal to that different market. And a gambler regularly uses a gateway.
Fair. We had we ran some experiments as well in that direction, and every time it worked, it was when it's not a discount, right? Like the way Solana usually works is that the rewards are actually valuable benefits. Like the Cast card, for example, we did a campaign for Cast, and the card costs $100, right? If you want to get the physical card, if you want to order the physical, the virtual one is completely free. But if you want a physical Cast card, so that's like this shit here. That's phone broke. So it's basically a crypto card that has like Solana on it just for fun, but it's a fintech, right? You can pay with it. Costs $100. If you have a Solana ID, if you have a decent on-chain kind of track record, not too crazy, then you get this card for free. We did a campaign around that, like an acquisition campaign for Cast, and it's a quite cumbersome sign-up process because you need to download an app, do KYC, and so on. And we still managed to get a fairly good conversion rate on this because the thing is $100 worth, right? So if you gate it a little bit, if you make the perk valuable, if it's like 10% discount on some bullshit, difficult to sell usually. Like that, I agree with that, right? But if it's something that has,
it's changed for exchanges as well, though. For like if you're working for a derivative platform, for example, a fee discount is actually a preferable offering to a money bonus. Statistically, it does better.
Okay, for the users.
The users always prefer a fee discount because it gives them a longer term
for that model.
But yeah, we should probably wrap this up here. Otherwise, we're going to devolve into like just talking pure business, and then it's
Hi guys, welcome to the live stream. No, thanks so much for joining, everyone. We're going to close the stream now. But yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you so much, and peace out. See you at the next one. Bye, everyone. Ciao. Good night or good day or whatever.